This is crypto!
Stay calm and stack sats. Let's get into it, Crypto Warriors. Today is the 26th of March, 2021. We are in the green again over the past 24 hours. It's probably because, hey, we've had enough bad news for the week. It might be because of the expiry of the futures contracts. Who knows? This is Bitcoin. This is crypto. And we're going to have ups. We're going to have downs. We just got to take a step back and look at the bigger picture, right? But yeah, everything is in the green. And, it's because Bitcoin is leading the way. We are in the green. We see a top 15, top 20, it seems. Yeah. And that's all I really care about. Yeah, everything is in the green. Now, I have some great bullish news today. And this might be one of the reasons why we're back in the green again. Let's get into it. Here it is. SpaceX is launching today, hopes to launch today, the Starship number 11. If you backtest, I want you, do not take my word for it. All right, do not take my word for it. If you backtest all the Starship launch from Starship 10, 9, and 8, I think even Starship 7, you will see that the price of Bitcoin did have a little pump on that day. Okay, so backtest it. So yeah, that's just one good news coming out today. Hopefully they have a great launch and everything goes as according to plan. Next, big news. This is coming from Cointelegraph. Options traders target 80K by May. Target 80K by May. Skew suggests, or just 6% chance they're right. We'll see. With Coinbase highly anticipated direct listing IPO expected to take place next month, options traders appear to be betting that Bitcoin will once again soar to new all-time highs in the coming weeks. On March 24th, founders of crypto analytics firm Glassnode tweeted data suggesting that options traders on peer-to-peer crypto derivatives exchange Deribit are loaded up on contracts set to expire on April 30th with a strike price of 80K. Contracts worth a notional value of 4,000 Bitcoin have been purchased, targeting the price point in total more than any other strike price by at least 50%. More than any other strike price by at least 50%. So the bulls are betting that Bitcoin will be 80K by the end of April, beginning of May. There you have it. And it's a 6% chance that they could be correct. We'll see. And that could be, again, why the price is pumping. Plus, we have the expiry of the futures contracts that ended today. And we will see if a lot of shorts got liquidated or a lot of bulls longs got liquidated. We'll see. It's going to be coming out within the next couple of hours, I guess, or by the end of the day today. We'll see. Next, again from Cointelegraph, I spoke about something like this yesterday about Singapore. New Zealand retirement fund reportedly allocates 5% to Bitcoin. Institutional uptake of Bitcoin is on the rise. KiwiSaver of New Zealand appears to have built up exposure to Bitcoin in October 2020. All right, so KiwiSaver Growth Strategy, a $350 million retirement plan operated by New Zealand wealth funds managers, has reportedly allocated 5% of its assets to Bitcoin, underscoring the steady stream of institutional investors entering the digital asset space. All right, so this is coming from the fund manager himself. He said, if you are happy to invest in gold, you can't really discount Bitcoin. He told Stuff in New Zealand, let me get rid of that, in New Zealand news agency, adding that Bitcoin will be featured in more KiwiSaver products over the next 5 years. So they're just starting out. They are just getting started. Okay, and they bought it back in October when Bitcoin was sitting at about 10K. Gregor explained that the firm's purchased Bitcoin for the first time in October when it was valued at 10K. To execute the trade, New Zealand fund management had to change its offer documents to allow for cryptocurrency investments. They were doing it on the side, or not on the side, but they weren't broadcasting it, basically. All right, this is just something that I guess finally came out to the public. But there are a lot of wealth managers. There's a lot of institutions out there worldwide buying up Bitcoin. just like my story yesterday, where I reported that in Singapore, the sovereign fund, right, from Singapore was investing in Bitcoin since 2018 during all the bear market FUD, all right, possibly during the height in January of 2018, rode it all the way down and was just stacking Bitcoin during all that time. And now the government of Singapore is interested in stacking some Bitcoin himself. We're going to see one or two government. We already know that Iran, they already have Bitcoin on their balance sheets, and they're using Bitcoin as a medium of exchange for oil and things of that nature, right? To do trade, to facilitate trade. We already know that Venezuela is doing that as well. Well, we're talking about countries that aren't shunned by the UN. Okay, we're talking about quote unquote legit countries. We're going to see some country come out in the future. I want to say this year. All right, they're going to come out and say, yeah, we are using Bitcoin to facilitate trade, or we're using Bitcoin as our reserve currency. You're going to see that happen sometime this year. Mark my word. We're going to explain that KiwiSaver is majority built up through traditional asset classes, but noted that other opportunities present themselves. In the case of Bitcoin, it's an asset class that could help give people the best retirement they can get through its aggressive compounding. Oh my goodness, we're having an asset manager say this publicly. Wow. Bitcoin, all right, could help give people the best retirement they can get through its aggressive compounding. What are you waiting on? Right? What are you waiting on? You should be stacking sats. You should be buying Bitcoin. All right? Don't let this starship, leave the launch pad and go to Mars without you. Okay? Not financial advice, of course. Next, I can't come with the good news and not have the FUD news, right? Billionaire investor Ray Dalio, Bitcoin bans a good probability. The founder of Bridgewater Associates suggested that there was a good probability that Bitcoin will be banned by governments. Okay. And does he have historical context for this? Yes, he does. Because back in the 30s, President Franklin Delano Roosevelt, he banned gold and made it illegal for the individuals to own gold, and then stole, because that's what it was. People had to turn their gold in to their banks, okay? And that was this theft. He stole the gold, and then gold was priced at $20 an ounce back then. As soon as everyone turned their gold in, he raised the price of gold to $35 an ounce. All right, so you missed out on almost 50% gains. All right, so he basically stole the gold from the citizens. Now, does he? Ray Dalio does have historical context when it comes to that. When it comes to governments banning Bitcoin, so to speak. However, this is the first time in human history where no one can steal your property, where no one can come and take your property. They may know that you have Bitcoin, but good luck to them trying to take it away from you. Because as long as you have those private keys, they cannot confiscate your Bitcoin. All right. So that's what he needs to get through his thick skull. And by the way, if you've been in Bitcoin since any time in history, all right, you've outperformed the largest hedge fund in the world, because that's what Ray Dalio runs. His hedge fund is the largest hedge fund in the world, and you've outperformed them. If you've been in the S&P 500, you've outperformed Ray Dalio and his hedge fund. So it goes to show that because you are technically the smartest guy when it comes to investing and things like that, you really don't know everything about investing. All right. So there you go. We're going to read some of his quotes. Every country treasures its monopoly on controlling the supply and demand. They don't want other monies to be operating or competing because things can get out of control. They outlaw gold, and that's why also outlawing Bitcoin is a good probability. Again, he still needs to understand that you cannot outlaw Bitcoin because, one, it's on the internet, and two, if you outlaw it and you try to confiscate it, good luck. You're going to have to just pry it from my cold dead fingers, which technically you can't anyway. All right, so you cannot have access to my Bitcoin. I have it on a hardware wallet. Good luck getting it off of there. Okay, good luck. The private keys are in my head. They're in my brain. And even if you torture me, I'm still not giving it up. So good luck with that. We saw what happened just a few months ago when Nigeria came out and they talk about banning Bitcoin. The price of Bitcoin doubled and it was trading at $80,000 per Bitcoin in Nigeria. So they did Bitcoin a favor. Every time a country come out and try to ban Bitcoin, that's what happened. The price of Bitcoin increased. So they are just going to either drive it underground or they're going to have to try to come up with ways to properly and legally try to tax it. And that's what they'll do, because they want to participate in this game as well. They want to make money as well. All right. The greed of human beings will prevent them from banning it. Next, more FUD news. SEC's crypto moms warns selling fractionalized NFTs could break the law. So what's happening here? Speaking at Draper Goring Holmes Security Token Summit on March 25th, SEC Commissioner Hester Peirce, also known as Crypto Mom, warned that issuers of fractionalized non-fungible tokens and NFT index baskets that they could inadvertently be distributing investment products. While Peirce stated that the whole concept of an NFT is supposed to be non-fungible, meaning that in general it's less likely to be a security, she noted that people are being very creative with the type of NFTs they are putting out there. Peirce urged NFT issuers to be cautious if they decide to sell fractional interest in NFTs or NFT baskets, stating, "You better be careful." So she's really being a mom right now. You better be careful that you're not creating something that's an investment product that is a security. Well, I'm going to go in on Hester Peirce and the SEC. They are talking about NFTs, something that's new, something that's digital, something that was pretty much invented after Bitcoin. So after 2009. So NFTs, I think, were first spoken about back in like 2012, if you do your history, like colored coins and things of that nature, all right, or art on a Bitcoin blockchain and things like that, all right. So 2012, 2013 or so. It really popped off after Ethereum's launch in 2015 and 2016. We had certain NFTs and things like that, and then 2017 the CryptoKitty craze, I should say. Anyway, what she's talking about when it comes to securities is a law that went into effect, all right, back in 1946, which is the Howey test, because some people got scammed out of orange groves in Florida back in 1932, 1933, all right, and look how long it took. It took more than a decade for people to come up with a law. All right, took 13 years for them to come up with a law, calling it the Howey test. Now, NFTs are new. They're already coming out and warning people about NFTs and the issuing of fractionalized NFTs, and it's not even 10 years old yet. So they're making up these laws and these rules as they go along because they're not getting their cut. Typically, when you issue a security, it has to go through the SEC. You have to pay to get it not legalized, but you have to pay for the forms and pay for the fees and all that stuff, and they basically get their cut. We're having kids, all right? We're having kids, literally young kids, come up with NFTs and ways to sell them in their friggin' in their bedrooms, on their spare time, and now you're going to want to charge them. You want to fine them. Like, come on, man. This is ridiculous. Okay, these quote unquote Howey tests, these quote unquote rules, all right, Here it is. All right. Pierce also criticized the use of the Howey test to assess whether crypto assets are securities, asserting that it hasn't worked that well for the industry. So if she knows that the Howey test is something that you could go off of when it comes to these new types of assets, this new type of art, okay, because that's what NFTs are. Most of them are. It's just art. So you're gonna be levying a fine against somebody because they're selling art. If you know that, if you yourself, Hester Pierce, state that the Howey test hasn't worked for this new type of asset class for cryptos, then why are you trying to quote unquote warn people about issuing NFTs as securities? Straight up bullshit, and you got to call a spade a spade. And a lot of stuff happened back in 1946 that aren't happening right now, and we need new laws and regulations when it comes to cryptocurrencies and everything that encompasses cryptocurrencies, because it's a game of whack-a-mole. Whenever they come out with new laws or whatever, anyway, the developers, the coders, they're going to come up with new ways to circumvent that law anyway. So I could say it and go on forever, but it's straight up BS. This warning from Crypto Mom, I'm throwing up air quotes here, is just her, again, sticking her nose where it doesn't belong. The SEC just sticking their nose where it doesn't belong. And we can regulate ourselves. I'm going to stop right there. Smash with a like, hit that subscribe button, and notification bell to get notified when I upload new videos. It's Sergeant Crypto, and I'm out. Peace.